There's a reason the internet is full of angry men and bitter women. And I used to be trapped in that bubble too. But I managed to break it, and here's how I did that. So today I was just scrolling on Twitter. Actually, it was yesterday. And I came across this Sigma male tweet. You know, the obvious alpha male, I guess, interaction bait, but it wasn't really interaction bait because they do sound like they're genuine. And the original tweet, which I'll probably put on the screen right now, is confessing your problems to a woman, with an image of a male figure shooting a bow and arrow and the arrow hitting himself in the chest. And someone quote retweeted that with top 2 worst mistakes you can do as a man. Literally bleeding next to a shark. This immediately just put me off. Because there I am, in a wonderful relationship, where I am able to express my opinions, my emotions, my feelings, everything, without a smidge of feeling judged. And here are people, because this tweet has over 100,000 likes. How are there genuinely this many people that believe this? It just pissed me off. So obviously I interacted with it, calling him out for being a Sigma male. And, you know, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna be vulnerable and pampered by my lovely girlfriend. He just said, "You'll cry." And after that, responded again. And the whole comments got filled with just people saying, "Just wait and see, your time is coming. When she cheats, are you gonna be a man and post it as well? You will cry blood." It's just like, these people are so far down in this echo chamber, this bubble. And it just pisses me off. But I'm also concerned in a way. You know, it pisses me off because obviously I'm just being attacked for having a nice relationship. But it's just sad that all these men are out here saying these things because they genuinely believe that all women are evil. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized something scary. This was me a few years ago. So obviously, social media, it thrives off of extreme drama, and that gets the most interactions. Because if you just post a normal opinion and you're very civilized, people aren't gonna interact with it, you know, because that's just the reality of the situation. Let me preface that this is not just a male to woman issue, this is also a woman to male issue. While men think that all women are evil and you're never allowed to open up about anything and you're weak and women cheat, there's also the part of the internet where women will constantly throw out, all men are evil, all men will assault you, men will cheat, men don't care about you. So it's not just a male thing, it's also a female thing. Both sides of the spectrum have their own toxic echo chambers, their own little bubbles where everyone just screams these opinions. They all kind of enforce each other's opinions. They're all super positive and supportive because they obviously all feel the same anger and distrust towards the other gender. But that kept me thinking as well. How do so many people fall into this trap? Including me at some point. Let's have a little look back into my past, because then you might be able to see how I got into this bubble and how I also grew out of the bubble. I would like to break this part up into 3 mini arcs. Hopefully you can follow along and cringe at my past together with me. So let's start off in my teenagehood. Let's say around when I was 13, 14, 15, anywhere near. I was super introverted. I was probably max autistic, and also chronically online. Through my childhood, I have been a PC gamer and I liked being online. I didn't really interact with anyone. I didn't go out with other kids, not even just girls, but also boys. I just didn't like hanging out with people. So all my connections that I did have were online, which is quite troublesome at that age. Now, obviously, as I started getting into puberty, I craved more validation and I got more interested in girls. I'm straight, so that happens. And that's how I got into the whole nerd side of things. Because while I did grow up alone, I obviously did have interests like anime, cosplay, gaming, you know, all the nerdy stuff. And that's how I got into the cosplay community in the Netherlands. There was this very distinct community here where I grew up in, and I tried my hands at cosplaying. And the cosplays that I did garnered a lot of attention from girls. All these interactions with girls felt like meaningful validation because I was finally a part of something big. I felt not necessarily loved, but people were interested in me, right? Well, unfortunately, this is probably the point where everything about my mental health started going downhill. Now we're gonna enter the nice guy era. Yes, I was a nice guy. Whilst I was interacting with multiple girls, I was also constantly on the hunt for spicy DMs with girls. Because, you know, I was a horny teenager. There was also a side of me that just felt lonely. These spicy DMs that I had with multiple girls, because hey, they were all kind of mentally ill, just like me, so it was quite easy to get that attention. I felt nice, because obviously that spicy interaction you get feels so incredibly good. Like, it's probably the best kind of attention you can get as a young, horny teenager. However, that slowly turned into all kinds of drama and bullshit and just really toxic things. And at some point, girls just started to open up about, oh, well, you're not the only one I do this with. Which, hey, wow, I wasn't doing that. But because I was the nice guy, I was definitely like, oh, but I thought you were the only one doing it with me. So now I feel very used. And because I had this so often with so many girls at the same time. Hi, this is editor Calvin here, and I just want to preface that I made it sound like I was having girls lined up in my DMs here, but that was not really the case. I just had like a handful. It's not that crazy, okay? Don't come at my throat, please. I'm not that bad. This kind of felt like the norm. And that's how I started to generalize that all girls or all women are like that. But the worst part comes from the algorithm. Social media and every algorithm around it agrees with you. You get shown all these posts and all these videos from men having the exact same experience. And that is how you start to spiral and you start to feel like, oh, so what I'm feeling isn't weird. This is what everyone goes through. And that's kind of how we get into like the last point of the whole mini arcs. This is where my mental health reached its lowest point. I felt so depressed, betrayed. I was constantly screaming for a smidge of attention. I lost joy in cosplay and I quit. The only issue is that the bitterness remained. Even after that, when I went to high school, while I was already a little bit older, I was still having a lot of trouble with my mental health. And I still had an experience with a girl, or well, by then it's a woman. It didn't really lead to much, even though I tried my absolute best to make her feel good and loved. And it made me spiral even harder, and my depression just really started to take over my whole brain. However, after years of feeling alone and kind of being a woman hater, I won't lie, I met the woman who proved me wrong in the most unconventional way possible. I'm not gonna go into detail how. Let's just say it was an online meeting, and she is amazing. She made my whole view, my whole bubble just pop, you know? It made me feel like women are no longer a monolith. Like one big collective horrible thing. Because here was a woman willing to go through all the conflicts and all the communication and all the effort to make sure that I felt heard, I felt loved, I felt accepted, and wow. Like that, there are people out there who are like that. What I'm willing to say with this is that maturity, especially when I look at people like this online, maturity isn't about avoiding emotions. It's learning how to navigate them. This online bubble that I was stuck in for the longest time did in no way prepare me for a real loving relationship. With conflict, with arguments, but also with the good side, the actual love, the just unfiltered being accepted by someone. And I don't want to use this as like a flex, you know, look at how good my life is. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that there are people out there who are good. So what I really want to hammer in, you know, if you come from that tweet, hi, first of all, I don't see you as a bad person. The issue is that you are so conditioned by these online communities to believe that whatever you're saying is right. These communities are all just emotional shelters for your worst moments. Think about it. Alpha male circles, feminist rage pages, even crypto bros. They all function the same. It's all an echo chamber. It's all people screaming into a bubble and everyone enforcing each other to do and say the same. Think about Andrew Tate, for instance. Andrew Tate is a mastermind in talking. He is very charismatic, and that is how he garnished an incredible following. Let me say first of all, I do not agree with everything Andrew Tate says, and the things that he does say that are good are very bottom of the barrel, you know, basic things. But he knows how to bring those basic bits of information to make it feel like, wow, this guy's really smart. You know, he'll say something super controversial and then we'll say something super, everyone knows this, like a nothing burger. And that's how people got to know him as, oh, he's so controversial, he just says what he wants, but he's also really smart. This influence plus repetition is belief. Everyone believes what he says. And it's the same in the crypto community. It's like big people like Michael Saylor for Bitcoin or Robert Kiyosaki, you know, who wrote that book about finance. They will tweet one thing, one opinion, and everyone will fucking lose their mind because, oh my god, he's the chosen one, you know, like, and the whole market will react to what he says. Am I wrong? It's all the same echo chambers. All right, so here, just to break it up, how do you break out of that bubble? Because honestly, most people like this on Twitter never break out of that bubble, and they will constantly believe that what they're thinking is right, is the only way to think. So here's a practical 3-step breakdown on how to escape this bubble, this echo chamber. Number 1, the most important part, literally the strongest thing you can do, is recognizing that you might be in the echo chamber, in the bubble. Once doubt appears, that's when growth begins. And you're already 70 to 80% of the way there. Because that's when you're gonna challenge your beliefs and challenge all the opinions of everyone around you. Step 2, touch grass, bro. I'm not kidding. Touch grass. Your offline, outside interactions are not gonna match up with all that online hatred that's been spewing around. You need to go out and see that people are normal. There are normies out there who just are normal. Lastly, focus on individuals, not groups. I like to use a really funny burger metaphor for this, right? If I were to act like the people on social media, I would go to McDonald's and I would get a bare basic burger, a hamburger, and I would eat it and I would immediately say, oh, I don't like this burger, so Burger King, KFC, Nando's, anything else is also trash. All the burgers everywhere are horrible because I did not like this McDonald's burger. What the fuck do you mean? Go try a burger somewhere else because it's vastly different. This is the exact same as people on the internet saying, oh, I had a bad experience with a woman or a man, now all women or all men are trash. Is this not the exact same? If you genuinely think that that is different, then comment down below, because I'm very curious what you have to say about men or women and burgers. Because if you go to McDonald's and you might not like that hamburger, then a burger at Burger King might still taste better. Or KFC might still taste better because it might have chicken on it instead of meat. Wow. So let me say that I got really heated off. I get so pissed off when I see this, because we've just grown into such an online hatred community. Like, everyone just fucking hates each other. So people who say all women are bad or all men are trash are emotionally immature, because all they're doing is projecting past wounds, and they cannot see beyond the veil, so to say. Good people don't spread hate online. So why interact with people that are just out there to spew nothing but toxicity? And trust me, I was like that too. There was a time where I would interact with everything toxic. I would only argue with everyone who I saw on the internet. And guess what? That was also when my mental health was at its lowest point. Because if you surround yourself with toxicity, you grow into a fucking venomous little cloud. And I am proof, I am living proof, and I'm willing to die on this hill that people can grow out of that bubble. But the first step is just to acknowledge that maybe this bubble I'm in is not the best. Let me remind you, I don't hate these people. I just think it's sad that we've gotten to this point. And if you feel bitter, that doesn't mean you're broken. You're not wrong for being hurt by people. You're not wrong for hating that interaction. But you are stuck in the wrong room. And when you leave that echo chamber, the world suddenly becomes a whole lot bigger, with more opportunities. And you will grow out of it too. And here at Takoyaki Boys, we're all trying to become better versions of ourselves. So let's do it together. Hit subscribe if you think that one of these things maybe hit a little bit too close to home. You know, I have had a very bad past, and I would like to move on from certain things as well. But I can also look back and see that I've grown a lot, especially in the relationship that I am now. So please comment down below if you want to add anything to this, if you have an opinion. And if you genuinely think that men or women are bad, then look beyond yourself, man. Not everyone is like that. Just because you have had one or even multiple experiences does not mean that all the other 8 billion people out there are just as bad. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara.